A giant pixelated sunset, neon city lights, palm trees, retro sports car, and the synthwave music that instantly brings you straight back to the 80s and 90s. Sounds like an album cover? Nope, it's LEGO. Can you believe LEGO bricks can capture that retro vibe so perfectly? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Yuan from Buildgonet Creations. Today, I'm sharing a super retro motorized looping MOC I designed for the LEGO's official channel. Say hello to the Sunset Racer. So in this video, I want to take you behind the scene of the Sunset Racer, share a bit of the concept stories, design process, and building techniques, and how the motion mechanism works. Hopefully, it will spark some inspiration for your own creations too. Alright, let's jump in. So a while back, I built a cyberpunk LEGO Marble Run City for LEGO's channel. They reached out again and asked me if I could create a racing theme mechanism build. And they wanted to be done during the tulip season in April. And I was like, wait, racing theme? That's exactly what I always wanted to do. Perfect, right? Well, kind of. The only problem is that giant cyberpunk project took way longer than expected. So by the time I started this one, it was already mid-late March. So yeah, those tulips are already gone once it's done. But hey, it just so happens that I'm a huge fan of synthwave music. And if you know anything about that, the aesthetic is so perfect to be turned into LEGO. Just imagine retro cars, palm trees, neon city, and giant sunset. You get the vibe. That's when it hit me. Wanna bring all those elements together into a motorized looping LEGO build? Sounds kinda cool, right? So a quick Synthwave 101. Synthwave comes straight out of 80s, born from synth music, sci-fi movies like Blade Runner, arcade games, and that hazy, nostalgic old VHS tapes. Back in that era's American pop culture. Thanks to the shows like Miami Vice and games like Outrun, it kind of became the ultimate symbols of freedom, speed, and that so-called American dream. And those oversized sunsets, they captured that perfect mix of romance, closure, and infinite possibilities. Back to the build, my goal was simple. Capture the vibe of synthwave and bring it to life in a way that you can see, feel, and snap together brick by brick. For me, that's what LEGO romance looks like. Alright, so earlier I talked all about the vibe, but let's be honest, none of that matters if the thing doesn't actually move. To make this MOC loop honestly like a proper synthwave dream, the real challenge was engineering the motion. Fun fact, the mechanism I use here is actually the same one I designed for my retro computer build, just bigger and beefier. At the core are 4 LEGO chat links, which act like a bell system. This whole idea was inspired by the official LEGO Nintendo set, which by the way is where I first discovered this technique. Some tips here. If you're having a hard time to figure out how to build a certain mechanism, go study official LEGO set. Even if you don't buy the set, you can still download the instruction for free from LEGO's website. I've learned a tons of tricks that way. I didn't want the whole thing to be massive, so I chose this width to keep things compact. The road surface itself is pretty straightforward. I added a bit of extra details, using different shapes and texture tiles to make the road surface look slightly uneven and bumpy, just like the real roads here in North America. You might have noticed I left a gap right here at the middle of the road on purpose. It's what makes the road move while the car stays still. Is it a perfect solution? Not really. I considered a few other options, like mounting the car to the background wall or the roadside. Didn't really like those either. Maybe magnets. But LEGO magnets are mostly discontinued and hard to get. So this is what we are working with now. Once the road loop was finished, it was time to build the support structure and the base. This part is super important. You have to make sure the gear position is perfect. And most importantly, the support cannot interfere with the moving chats. It actually took me a while to figure out why the whole thing wasn't running smoothly. Turned out I missed one spacer. Yup, that tiny mistake caused the whole thing to jam up. Also, unlike my retro computer build, which was sitting more vertical, this one is a flat horizontal loop, and it's heavy, so I had to build a really sturdy support system underneath. You might also see the whole base is built a bit higher off the ground. I needed to leave enough clearance for the grass and bushes. I mean, imagine a tree getting ripped out every 5 seconds. And remember those tulips the LEGO team originally wanted? Well, I did add a few of the newer tulip pieces here. Just a few though. Why not more? Because they are, again, Very expensive. Next up, the backdrop. Now, this part was actually pretty chill. Technique-wise, nothing too crazy. I used my go-to 16x16 base plate, and then built a giant sunset in pixel art style. Color choices are the real magic here. For the sky, I went with blacks, blues, and purples to get that classic synthwave gradient. The sun, a glowing combo of reds and oranges. I mean, look at it, it totally pops. And of course, the skyline. I built these skyscraper in micro scale and compressed them into a flat 2D skyline. Nothing too detailed here, less about the tiny details and more about getting the vibe. Once the background and the mechanism were all set up, it was time to build the real star of the show, the retro mini race car. Designing the car properly took me way longer than building the entire scene. I went deep into research mode, looking up tons of 80s car references. Everything from JDM sports car to vintage Americans. Okay, this American car was just for fun. It's way too big for this scale. Both styles totally fit the synthwave theme, but JDM cars felt more iconic for the vibe I was going for. And also, I like it better. Honestly, building tiny cars like this one is my favorite part of mocking. Trying to capture all those curves, vents, and lines in a limited scale is super challenging. I used a hinge trick to reverse mount a 1x2 plate, added ingot pieces on the sides, give the body some crisp lines. Dual exhaust in the back? Yes please. These tiny details really bring the car to life, even at this scale. I actually made a few different versions in different colors, but in the end, the yellow one stood out the most. And lastly, just one skinny bar connecting it to the base. But be careful of the positioning, otherwise your car's just gonna do donuts in place. So the first time I hooked up the motor and watched the whole thing play, I was like, yes, that's the vibe. But even after everything was working, nothing is falling, but I still feel like something was missing. How can I forget the soul of synthwave? Palm trees! Do you still remember I mentioned earlier, the whole structure was elevated just give the bushes and grass enough clearance. At this point, raising it any higher would make the whole thing bulkier and unstable. So I was wondering, is there a way to add palm trees that also move, but without revising the current setup too much? That's when the idea finally clicked. Aside from moving things vertically this way, there's another option, horizontal rotation. So all I needed to do was adding 4 gears, connecting the current axle, change the axis of rotation, and just like that, the palm trees are mounted and spinning in sync with the road. But let me tell you, the moment those palm trees started turning, I could almost hear the synthwave bits kicking in my head. I was like, yeah, this is what summer should feel like. After I uploaded this project, honestly, I didn't expect the build to get so much love. I mean, Synthwave and LEGO sounds kind of like a weird mix, right? But for some reason, they go together like bricks and studs. I got tons of comments. There's one comment says, if the sunset could actually rise and fall, that would be perfect. But then someone replied, if the sun rises and sets, it means the road has an end. Then I thought, wow, that's such an interesting way to see it. Because if I was sitting in this little car, jamming to a synthwave and watching this view, I would like the road to stretch on forever. No ending, no destination, just the drive. And after seeing how well it received, I got a bunch of new ideas clicking. I'm really hoping to explore more ways to blend music, visual, and LEGO. So if you're into that too, definitely stick around. If you enjoyed this build, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell. This is Yuan from Build Creations, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay inspired and keep building. Bye.